tensions between neighbors Afghanistan and Pakistan have peaked as Islamabad said the two of the soldiers were killed after the Afghan Taliban launched an operation against military positions along the shared border late on Thursday. Visuals of which present on your screens at the moment. While 3 more soldiers were injured when Pakistani forces returned what Information Minister Atatullah Tarar described as unprovoked fire. But both sides say that they inflicted heavy casualties during the clashes. Residents in Pakistan's borders said that they heard explosions and were advised to move into safer locations. Now, the Afghan, in fact, Taliban said that large-scale operations were carried out in response to strikes earlier in the week that claimed the lives of at least 18 people. Now, Islamabad said that those strikes targeted suspected militant camps and even hideouts. Now, this is an important piece of information that we bring to you at this hour. Remember that there have been clashes between Pakistan and Afghanistan. These have been confirmed from both sides of the border. What's important to understand is that Afghanistan says that these were strikes that it carried out in retaliation to the strikes carried out by Pakistan earlier. In the latest that we're tracking at this hour, now the Afghanistan Taliban has said that the large-scale operation was carried out in response to strikes earlier in the week that claimed the lives of at least 18 people. Meanwhile, Islamabad has responded saying that the strikes targeted suspected militant camps and even hideouts. This is an important piece of information that we're tracking at this hour. Remember that there have been strikes in the Afghanistan-Pakistan border along the Durand line. What's important to understand is the fact that even Islamabad has confirmed that 2 soldiers were killed after the Afghan Taliban launched an operation against military positions along the shared border on Thursday. While 3 more soldiers were injured when Pakistani forces returned, the Information Minister, in fact, even described of Pakistan that this was unprovoked fire by Afghanistan. Well, on this time, my colleague Vishal Vivek joining us on the broadcast. Vishal, walk us through the details for understanding that there seems to be full-scale strikes between Afghanistan and, of course, Pakistan.
That's right, Reed. And the latest reports indicate that Pakistan has accepted that 2 of its soldiers have been killed in this operation. And this operation was launched late yesterday and it has still been going on. And we've heard that some reports indicate that up to 10 to 18 people could have been killed in this operation. The details are a bit scant. We have some visuals that we've gathered from the Afghan media. The Afghanistan state media, Tolu News, has given out some details and claimed that it has Afghanistani side has at least occupied 12 to 15 Pakistani posts. These are claims that have been denied by the Pakistani side. We are still trying to verify as to what is going on. Remember, these are some of the most restive regions on the planet and some of the most underreported regions on the planet. It's really difficult to access these areas. Nangarhar, Kandahar, Helmand, these have been disturbed areas for the last 2-3 decades. Ever since the Afghanistan war erupted more than 20-25 years ago, these provinces have been at the center of destruction, at the center of these suicide attacks, these cross-border terrorism attacks. So we'll have to wait for confirmation on a lot of these details. But Afghanistan has responded and responded in a resolute manner, because these are retaliatory attacks from the Afghanistani side, because Pakistan, remember, about 3 to 4 days ago, earlier this week, had attacked some of the positions inside the Afghanistan territory, namely Kabul, Nangarhar, Paktia. These are some of the civilian areas that Pakistan had reportedly attacked, and Afghanistan planned in the last 3-4 days and has responded. How many people could have been affected, could have been the casualties in these operations? As I mentioned, that all details remains to be seen.
Absolutely, Vishal. We're waiting for details to trickle in. What's also important to understand is that we have a reaction coming in from the Afghanistan Taliban. Let's also listen in to what they had to say.
پاکستاني ځواکونو له لورې په ننګرهار او پکتیا ولایتونو کې د هوایي بریدونو د غچ اخیستنې په موخه باندې همدا شیبه د جمعې شپه 8 بجې دي په شرقي زون کې د 201 خالد بن ولید رضی الله تعالی عنه قل اردو سرحدي او پیاده ځواکونو له طرف نه په ننګرهار او کونړ ولایتونو کې پر ذکر خطاسر ما د پاکستاني ملیشو په پوسټو باندې درنه غزا پیل شوه.
Well, Afghanistan attacked Pakistani forces on Thursday and have claimed to killed and captured dozens of soldiers in retaliation for deadly airstrikes days earlier. While the offensive at multiple points along the frontier follows a series of border clashes and Pakistani strikes in Afghanistan in recent months. Now, Pakistan has launched Operation Ghazab-ul-Haq against the Afghan Taliban authorities after Kabul claimed 55 Pakistani soldiers were killed in cross-border strikes. Now, it's important to understand that Pakistan has released footage of overnight strikes on Kabul, claiming that its jets in fact targeted Taliban military facilities in response to what it called unprovoked aggression. It even hit multiple sites in Kabul, Kandahar and the Paktika in coordinate operations. Let's in fact even take you through the details with the visuals coming in at this hour. While Pakistan has struck Kabul and Kandahar in one of its biggest operations against Afghanistan, blasts were heard across the city, including sounds of jets. In Afghanistan, Taliban defense targets were targeted in Kabul, Paktika and Kandahar, is what the Pakistani Information Minister Atatul Tarar posted on social media platform X. Meanwhile, security sources say that armoured tanks belonging to the newly deployed forces have also been sent from the Nangarhar, East Afghanistan toward the hypothetical Durand line, visuals of which again present on your screens at the moment. As for Afghan media, fighting is ongoing between Afghan forces and Pakistani military-backed militias in the Kandahar area of Nuristan, Afghanistan. Well, in Afghanistan's coast as well, 4 Pakistani regime posts have been captured. Afghan forces have also seized weapons from these posts, with the coast spokesperson even confirming that Pakistani regime soldiers stationed in the posts have been eliminated and that the posts have been burnt down. Well, security sources say that in the Doklam area of the Nare district in Kunar in Afghanistan on the other side of the Durand line, a Pakistani military outpost has in fact caught fire in attacks by the Afghan forces. As per Afghan authorities, 10 posts and 12 bodies have been seized in the province. Well, going back to my colleague Vishal Vivek on this, Vishal, I wish to understand, a lot has happened in the past 24 hours. Walk us through the details. What exactly was the trigger for these strikes?
See, Pakistan and Afghanistan have been, exchanging strikes for the last 12 months quite frequently. Remember in October last year, they had almost been on the brink of war. The war had almost been declared, but at the last moment, due to some, intervention from many, parties on the Gulf side, the war had been brought to an end. But now it seems to be a fresh escalation. We've heard that several people could have been killed in these strikes, and what seems to be the trigger point of these strikes, that's a very important question, because Durand line, that is almost as big as 2,500 kilometer long, that seems to be the contentious point. Afghanistan was taken over by the Talibani side about 2-3 years ago, and ever since then the Afghanistani Taliban has been ruling over the country, the restive region. The inside part of Afghanistan has seen some peace. It has turned a lot more peaceful than before, but the border areas have been quite disturbing because Pakistani forces have been trying to infiltrate into the Afghanistani side, and Afghanistani side has a formal army now, and it has been trying to defend every time. It has been trying to capture Pakistani posts. So due to these disturbances, every now and then we see escalations, and this seems to be the latest one in those series of escalations. How long this will go, that remains to be seen, because there will be some intervention from the parties that tried to intervene the last time and brought the conflict to an end. How long that will take, that also remains to be seen, because this can blow out of proportion any moment, because we've been hearing that Afghanistani side is claiming that it has downed a Pakistani plane. That could be huge if it turns out to be one of the biggest, one of the most successful aircraft in the planet, that is F-16. That will be huge, because Pakistani side is known to use F-16 planes in these scenarios. We're still waiting for confirmation on all of that, but we are hearing from the Afghanistani side that the plane from the Pakistani side that tried to intervene into the Afghanistani side, that has been downed.
Right.
The details are scanned, but still waiting for confirmation.
Absolutely, Vishal. I also wish to understand, what sort of reactions have come about from the authorities from both the Pakistan as well as the Afghani side?
See, on the Pakistani side, there has been some sort of acceptance as to the damage that has been done. Pakistani side has reportedly claimed, reportedly accepted that 2 of its soldiers have been killed in this operation. That seem to be retaliatory strikes from the Afghanistani side, because earlier this week, Pakistan had attacked some of the civilian areas inside the Afghanistan territory, namely Kabul, Nangarhar, and also some regions in Paktia. And Afghanistan has now responded, and to this response also Pakistan has once again responded and once again attacked the capital of Afghanistan, that is Kabul. How many people could have been injured or killed, that these details are still trickling in, but experts have been suggesting time and again that Pakistan has been known to attack civilian areas. There are many visuals that we've gathered over the last 12 months or so that seem to indicate that the Afghanistani side has been at the receiving end. Pakistani side has been using its official air force to attack these civilian areas, and later on claiming that these are TTP positions, Tehrik-e-Taliban Pakistan, or some ISIS affiliated positions that the Pakistani side is attacking. But when we see the visuals, every now and then we see that mostly women, children, and innocent people, bystanders, they have been killed. So these are claims that have been denied by experts, have been denied by the Afghanistani side. What's the story this time? That will have some finding to do. We'll have to find that, but we'll have to wait for confirmation.
Right, absolutely, Vishal. We're all well aware that, of course, the US forces moved out, after which there was a Taliban takeover. Help us understand how exactly has Afghanistan's relationship with Pakistan progressed after, of course, the Taliban's takeover.
See, it's been a rocky road for both the sides. It's been choppy waters, to say the least, because Afghanistan has been trying to sort of remodel itself, because it's governed by one of the most conservative regimes on the globe, the Taliban. Taliban has also tried to remodel itself. It seems to portray itself having this modern military. It has some of the captured military hardware that it captured when the US forces exited the region. It has tried to formalize relations with a lot of countries. Remember, Afghanistani ministers have visited India in the recent past, have sort of strengthened the relationship. And as I mentioned, the country on the whole seems largely peaceful, other than these attacks from the Pakistani side. So Afghanistani Taliban has been able to make the country peaceful to a lot more level than before. But Pakistan seems to be intervening and creating disturbances every now and then. That seems to be the main reason.
Vishal, I also believe that you have details of the areas that have been attacked. Walk us through the details. What exactly are the areas that have been impacted on both sides?
See, the biggest area that seems to have been attacked is Kabul, the capital of Afghanistan. It lies not too close to the border, but you can say it's near the border. Kabul is one of the major areas, major commercial hubs of Afghanistan, and Kandahar has always been quite restive. We've seen that ever since the Afghanistan war, that has resulted in many strikes, many terrorism attacks. Paktia is also a civilian area right next to the Pakistani border. This is Pakistani side, this is the Afghanistani side. And Nangarhar, this is one of the most disturbed regions on the planet. It has seen attacks in the last 20-25 years every now and then. And this seems to be at the center of, at the epicenter of all the attacks. So these are some of the regions that have been targeted by the Pakistani side. And in the recent past, in the last 12 months, we have seen that similar areas, similar border areas. This is the Durand line. This is the 2,600 kilometer long Durand line that seems to be at the epicenter of these attacks. This is Pakistan. This is Afghanistan. Iran is towards that side. And these areas we've shown on the map that goes along the Durand line. And mind you, Afghanistan does not formally recognize the Durand line. So this is, anyway, as I mentioned, one of the most disturbed regions on the planet. So it has escalated again. So we'll gather some more details and get to know you how many more places could have been attacked. We have some visuals as well. But the Nangarhar seems to be at the epicenter of these attacks.
Right, absolutely, Vishal. Meanwhile, we also have Mr. Fazil Minala Kazizai. He's joining us. He's a journalist from Kabul, Afghanistan. Sir, I wish to understand, you're joining us from Kabul, where I believe there were also explosion sounds that were heard. Walk us through the details. What exactly is happening in Afghanistan?
Yes, as you're aware that after the deadly airstrike carried by Pakistani military plane in Kabul that caused civilian casualty, including women and children. So the Afghan government did their retaliation operation today, late evening. And because during this retaliation, the Taliban did quite well. They were able to capture a number of checkpoints in the top mountain areas of Kunar province. And they had caused many casualties to the Pakistani army and to the Pakistani militia. Uh, the Pakistani army, because found themselves desperate, they start again airstrike on a number of major and big cities of Afghanistan, including the capital of Afghanistan. So 2 places so far were bombed in Kabul. One is near a famous palace called the Darlaman Palace, and it was bombed with a very big, huge bomb, which shaken, almost half of the Kabul. And the second bombing was in the southern part of capital Kabul. And beside Kabul, they have bombed Kandahar, which is the spiritual capital of the Taliban and the Islamic movement of Afghanistan, and also Paktia. We don't have any report of the casualties, but the huge amount of this bomb was quite big. That the sound and the shake was felt in very far areas.
Because you are from Afghanistan, I wish to understand, tensions between Afghanistan and Pakistan have only escalated over the past month. You've seen strikes, you've seen counter-strikes as well. How exactly do you view this relationship, and how would you say that, the relationship has progressed after the Taliban takeover?
Oh, I should tell you that Afghanistan had a long tension and dispute of land with the Pakistan. So this is going to since the birth of Pakistan, we have issues over Duran line with Pakistan. And we were never able to run any kind of big referendum or any logical debate about this issue to be solved. But unfortunately, after the Taliban took power again in 2022, and they established peace, security, and also they have, started construction programs in Afghanistan. We have seen Pakistani sides being very aggressive, and we are seeing Pakistani army that they are directly attacking Afghanistan territory by different title and by different excuses. And unfortunately, this caused a number of airstrikes. And all of this airstrike, let's say around 13 or 14 airstrikes was carried out since 2024, and none of them targeted any so-called TTP or Tehrik-e-Taliban-e-Pakistan members. So all of these airstrikes were resulted with this civilian casualty, and also forced or made the Afghan government to respond and to run a retaliation program against them.